Victor in this game so far, but we'll give Kieran his chance for the floor in a minute if he gets another chance. Which he doesn't.
Was this perhaps the worry for Kieran Smith going into tonight, that he needed to find a level that can hang with the rest of the cast?
It has not been Victor Tingstrom, it's been Victor Tingstorm, because it's double 18 to win the first match. Oh yeah, that's how you do it. That's his best finish of the week, and he has butchered Kieran Smith in the first game. Again, averaging 89. Pretty much what he's been doing all week, but he is a very happy Swede, isn't he? 150 checkout to finish proceedings, 4 out of 12 on the doubles. But considering he missed most of those shots that you can see from the 4 out of 12 in the first leg, that was an excellent performance, and he only gave Kieran Smith 1 dart at a double. He is firmly on the back foot. He will have to beat Bradley Brooks in game 3, but Victor is just going to have to get legs against Bradley a little bit later on. When we come back, we'll go from Group 1, which has Victor and Kieran in it, over to Group 2, and it will be Conan Whitehead up against Dave Wazuski. They know each other rather well, don't they? Former series champion.
And that was his partner, Shirley, there, who's been a big supporter of Whitehead's. And that is 24 consecutive games now that Conan Whitehead has hit a max in.
Conan, you're requiring 53.
Well, the Whitehead family watching on nervously, but they may well be relieved if he can pin the double 10 to get over the line. Whitehead made hard work of it, but it's a win in the end. He gets the better of his good friend David Wazuski by 4 legs to 3, who put up a good fight, and when he got given opportunities, he took advantage of them. But Whitehead just too strong in the end. A 4-3 victory, an average of 95.09. 3 maximums in there, and that average was despite missing 10 darts and a double in the match, as they continue to have a chat about the battle that they have enjoyed. So that's the tail of the tape from our second game of the evening session, a 4-3 win for Conan Whitehead. Next up for us, it's Kieran Smith up against Bradley Brooks, a win for Bradley, and he's into the semi-finals. Kieran's going to have to win and win big.
You're going to require 142.
This to square up. And that first dart's a nice lie. He stays there for double 11. Oh, wow. That is superb from Kieran Smith. He wonders where was it earlier, but it's brilliant right now. It's 2-2, and Bradley Brooks for the match. For the win. To keep Smith in with a chance and an opportunity. It's a game that he's won, but it's a game that Bradley Brooks has felt like he has lost himself. He missed 16 darts at a double. He let leg after leg, opportunity after opportunity go by. But what a moment for Kieran Smith to pick up a win on a Saturday finals night here at the Super Series. 4-3 the scoreline, 4-3 the margin of victory. Coming up next, David Wazuski against Colin Osborne.
299. Opponents on a finish. Got to start 19s. And that's how you do a 101.
And interesting as well, a change of tack, because he's decided to go for double 16.
It seems like it's the logical choice on a 102 like that. And because Colin has converted the 25, have a chance. Okay, things are getting very interesting in Group 2, because David Wazuski has won 4 legs to 3 against the Super Series legend that is Colin Osborne. So 2 games in Group 2, they've both gone 4-3, and when it comes to Game 6, there's an awful lot on the line for Osborne and for Whitehead, who is, at this point in time, not safe. So that's what we've just seen, a really interesting game with 40% on the doubles for the man from London, but the man from the borough is on a knife edge. He has no points after his first game, and he's up against a certain Conan Whitehead in a couple of games' time. He wins this game, Jim, he's through to the semi-finals. Double top.
Game's on the second.
1-1.
Victor Tingstrom.
Now, it's a 1-set game in old money.
And this would be for the break, and then he'd throw to send us all the way to a last leg decider.
This is a checkout to win the group.
90.
Not quite.
Bradley require 2.
And so Brooks has one more chance to seal his place. And Bam Bam is into the semi-finals. He'll be relieved as he gets over the line, but he beats Victor Tingstrom by 4 legs to 1. That means Kieran Smith is eliminated for proceedings. What a week he has had to make it through to the Saturday night setup at the Super Series. But it is the 2 players that at the beginning of the night we fancy to get through Group 1 that have duly done so. Brooks a 4-1 winner against Victor Tingstrom, and it means that he tops the group. And there could be a tantalising prospect of Tingstrom against Whitehead in the semi-finals. But we'll come to that in just a second. It's Osborne against Whitehead in a very tasty-looking Group 2 encounter after this short break.
It's happened before. There it is. Every game this week he's had a 180.
38.
Born on a bogey number is good news for Conan. They've both been to series finals. One of them has won the jackpot.
33. Conan, you require 58.
It's all forgotten right now. It's all about what you do right now.
And right now, Conan gets back level. Listen to the roar as he tries to G himself up.
Colin, you require
If there was a
76.
scenario where Group 2 would have both of them eliminated, people would want that because they don't like these Super Series legends constantly lingering.
Game shot on the 3rd.
That's an upturn in quality from Osborne as he takes a 2-1 lead, a 14-dart leg. If he gets tops, he will have 2 chances to make it through.
140. Colin, you require
It's tots for Osborne for 3-2, but Whitehead is lurking beneath his neck on double 18.
Don't give him a shot, Colin. He's going to hit that 36 if you miss.
Game
Well
shot on
done.
the 5th leg.
And he
Colin
knew it.
Osborne.
Reap the rewards of that gamble.
He went for the bullseye. He's going to get a dart now at tops. And the Wizard pulls a rabbit out the hat, and he is into the semi-finals. And Conan Whitehead, the 9-4 bookmaker's favourite to win the night, has been eliminated in the group stages. It's Osborne who's going to be through alongside David Wazowski, and Conan Whitehead, the former champion, departs. Disappointment for the Barbarian. And that's despite putting in the best numbers of the night. A 95 average in game 1, a 90 average in game 2. But it's Colin Osborne that is going to complete the semi-final lineup alongside David Wazowski, Bradley Brooks and Victor Tingstrom. That concludes the group stage action. We'll have analysis with Chris Murphy and Paul Nicholson after this short break.
114.
Like when he took out that 142 earlier.
Against Bradley, it would have been a feeling of here we go again.
Is it here we go again on the doubles?
Game
He's finally
shot
got
on the
one.
4th leg. Bradley Brooks.
Style. Just a tiny interruption. And Brad did the right thing there. He's remaining focused. This is a big shot.
Bam Bam looking to do it with a bang. But I'm just wondering, I think someone's in the audience just taking a bit of a fall. And so just making sure that certain spectator is okay. Both players just having a look at the referee as well, just to make sure of their well-being. They're back up on their feet and they look okay. And so both players just making sure everybody's okay as they leave the auditorium. Bradley goes back towards the drinks table and now is approaching the oche with a shot for the match. 157.
Bradley require 157.
He's out of rhythm now, but at least he's got 6 darts for it. Well, there's the 7.
46.
I don't blame him for having a dodgy visit there. It was a good 30 to 45 seconds
100.
as he was waiting there,
Require
but now
111.
he's only guaranteed 3 more darts for the match.
Treble 17 would have left Tots a back-to-back ton toppers, and when you consider the woes he's had on the doubles so far this season, there would have been somewhat an irony about that.
30.
6
David
bad
require
darts.
137.
Wazzy can't take his shot,
59.
so
Bradley
this is the
require
most
81.
doable of the efforts he's left himself, but it should have been less than this. However,
Double 12 will seal Bradley Brooks' place in the final.
Bradley Brooks.
And Bam Bam is into the big game. As for David Wazuski, it's been a great week back for him here at the Super Series after a little time away. We wish him all the best in his charity endeavours next month. As for Bradley Brooks, I think both players just double checking of the well-being of that spectator in the crowd. Brooks, 4-1, the victor, 86.6 the average, at 114, a real turning point in that semi-final. And so Bradley Brooks of Blackburn is into the final. Who is he going to face? The second semi-final sees Stockholm's Victor Tingström take on Middlesbrough's Colin Osborne. Osborne missed a dart at the ball. And Tingström mop up on double 10. 2 5s. Foul last start. And Victor Tingström now is a leg away from the final.
this double is perilous. But you wouldn't think so. Yes, double 5. Do as you're told.
Good job.
What score would you realistically want in this situation? He can take whatever he wants. 159 is an A+ score.
159.
And he is one of the Super Series most starred pupils. And he's left himself on double 12 after 12 to complete the comeback win.
Now there's only one job left, but fair play to Victor for leaving 120 just in case.
Double 6. You could feel the tension in the room. It's a big dart. It's a big moment. Down for double 3. And Colin Osborne returns to the final for the first time since he made the grand final back in Series 4. He has beaten Victor Tingström by 4 legs to 3, a semi-final that the Swede had led by 3 legs to 1. But it is Osborne who is into the finale. How many times has he dodged bullets tonight? A few, but now he's into the final. A nice little embrace between him and Conan Whitehead to have shared a practice room over the course of the last week. It'll be a bitter disappointment for Victor Tingström, who didn't end up being victorious in the end, but we now have a final set, and it sees Bradley Brooks take on Colin Osborne for the big prize and a place at Champions Week.
However, he was a lot better in the semi-finals, being 4 from 7. But this is a bull for a break.
78.
And you could tell that he fancied it, but he just couldn't get the line and length up to point. And so double 5 for 13 dart to start. And Bradley Brooks draws first blood in the final. Break a throw, which would then give him the darts to win the title.
Time for a game changer. It's tops again. It's just sensational.
Bradley Brooks.
He has struggled to finish the second time of asking in his first Saturday night.
69.
He might not need a boom boom
24.
or a bam bam. It might just be a bam.
It'd be a breakthrough moment. As Brooks bags the title.
And the Week 7 Motors Super Series champion, Bradley Brooks!
Bam Bam is the man on Saturday night on the South Coast. He beats a legend in this building, Colin Osborne, by 4 legs to 1 to clinch the title. His second big title in the space of a few weeks. He saved his best performance for last. A 97.16 the average, 4 out of 9 on the doubles, that 112, a real game changer. He nearly won it with a 132 as well in that previous leg, but it is Bradley Brooks that is going to join a glistening resume of names into Champions Week. At the back end of May, he's beaten a legend in Colin Osborne in the final by 4 legs to 1. The trophy is his, and it is almost time to present it to him.
Would you please show your appreciation for this week's Motors Super Series champion, Bradley Brooks?
Yeah, big moment for Bradley Brooks winning that trophy. Look, not the same kind of drama as last week, but Bradley Brooks, he deserves that moment, doesn't he, Paul?
He does, because he worked super hard over the last couple of days just to get into Saturday night. Let's not forget, on Friday, if he didn't win his last match, he was running a risk of not being here. And this is his first Saturday night. But the way he's worked through his schedule tonight, you've got to give him a lot of props. It's not been easy. And he saved his best for last. And the best performance of the night came in the final.
Yeah, we are going to be hearing from Bradley Brooks. He's going to come up and join us in just a moment for a chat. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say. So before he gets here, let's just talk about his opponent, because it looked destined to me for a long time. How will he be feeling now?
Well, I think both of them are going to be exhausted. It's been a strange old final night. Colin's going to feel as if he's let one slip. But when he looks at the numbers and when he looks at the performance of Brooks, he'll understand that he was outdone tonight, and he'll just have to come back and try again a little bit later in the year. But Brooks will feel very proud of what he's doing at the minute. He's going through a process of trying to figure out who he's going to be next. And this is a great notch on the ladder to see where he goes from here. Osborne will be disappointed because he really wants to get that series title, but it's not going to be in Series 7, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's just recap the evening then as a whole, and it did play out the way that we spoke about, Paul. The results are there, and every single match was won by the player throwing first, although, as you kind of said, that only really comes into play when it goes down to a last leg decider. No need for that in the final.
No need for that, and I'm sure Brad will be very, very happy about that fact. I think the statement of winning the bullseye is super important, but only if you take it the distance. But in a final like that, when you've started so buoyantly, what you really want to happen is 1, 2, 3 legs, get them in the bank, and then give yourself that comfort to continue to play well. If the pressure is heightened by your opponent constantly putting you under it, then that's where you don't play your best. But if you can, that says something about you. And there was pressure initially, but ultimately Brad was just too good.
Yeah, he has just joined us now. Bradley, take a seat, grab the microphone, we'll have a nice little chat. Congratulations, you got there in the end. Look, before tonight started, you said you weren't happy with how you were playing, but how happy are you to have got over the line and won?
Yeah, I think I was lucky to get through the first bit of the groups. I didn't play well tonight, but I've won. I've good friends with Scott Taylor. He's done well here, and he always said to me, "You'll be lucky than good." So I think I've robbed my luck a little bit, and I've turned up when I needed to turn up in the final.
Yeah, sometimes you do need a little bit of fortune when you're playing so many matches throughout the course of a week. You've played 12 matches this week. You've been over the 100 average a couple of times. But how proud are you of the fact that you haven't just been a little bit fortunate, but you were good in that final?
Yeah, it's been obviously before the ADC final. It's been a long time since I've been in a final, so that helped. So in a final like this, how big this is and how many people watch and get into Champions, it was quite a big thing for me. It's probably one of the biggest things I've played in a long time. So to play like I did then, I was very proud of myself, and that takes a lot for me to say sometimes about myself. You
must be really happy with the way you started the final. Came out of the traps immediately and put him straight under pressure. Yeah, first leg, kicked off, I went 180, I fancied the 9, and then the next leg, it kind of didn't say anything the second leg. I'm thinking, Brad, you need to step it up, just keep it, that's what I felt like this week was. One game I'd be unplayable, next game I'd be beatable, but yeah, like I said, I was just happy to win the final in the end.
Just talk to us a little bit about your career in general, because of course you got your professional tour card as a teenager, went on to win the World Youth Championship, and then have fallen off the tour. So how important is it to have something like this to fall back on, rather than kind of going back to square one? Yeah,
I think it's massive. I think if you speak to a lot of players who would drop off now, not being a professional at the minute is not always a bad thing, because if you're not playing well, and anyone who's been there, Paul, you've been there, so when you're getting beat over and over again, it's hard to take. But now, not being a professional and having a talk, sometimes it can help you. And I feel like this year could really help me playing in stuff like this, the ADCs and all the other comps. So yeah, so in a way it's a step back, but for me I think it might be a step forward as well.
There were some people in our chat group tonight on YouTube asking questions like, what are your ambitions for the year? Because when you're not in the PDC Tour and
you are making your second appearance on a Saturday night here. Do you have goals for this year, or do you just want to play as much as possible?
Yeah, I think it's more playing as much as possible, but the way I was playing coming into this week, I think I did an interview and I said today, if I didn't win the whole thing, I wouldn't have been happy with my week. I really think I'm probably... It still needs work and with the new throw and stuff like that, but I think I feel like the best version is coming out with me, and I'm really happy where it's going. And yeah, I just love playing darts at the minute, and that's the main thing.
It's interesting you say that about the throw. When you first burst, was it just all kind of natural, and now you're having to sort of think about how you play the game a little bit more?
Yeah, it was just like it was. I used to set it, spin it, and then it used to be very methodical. I wouldn't say methodical and slow, but it was all like I tried making it like robot-like to repeat, and I started to struggle with the trying to spin it, and I was having problems with spinning it, and it weren't sitting right. So I just said, I'm going to go back to basics. I'm just going to pick it up, pull it back, and throw it, and we'll go from there. And it's been working recently.
It's amazing how many people at the minute are really analysing their throw. Recently, we were talking about Jermaine Wattimena and how he's trying to withdraw some of the pace in his action. He's making it more methodical on the way back, but it's more about making it one movement.
Yeah.
So instead of stopping and then going back and forward, what you've done is you've made it a rhythmic one movement, isn't that right?
Yeah, like you said, it was just, I just said to myself, just like, if I was, say you was just having a 3 darts practice, like anything, that was natural to me. So all this spinning wasn't natural. No one made me do it. I chose to do it, and I think now just pulling it back and fire it. Sometimes it goes wrong. It can be erratic sometimes, but it just feels comfortable for me at the minute. And I'm really happy where it's going.
And when you are going through this process of evolution, because it's not necessarily change, it's your throw evolving, is there anywhere better to play than here because you've got all these guaranteed games to test it?
No, like I said, this is the perfect place. Like you said, I have a new darts. I'm always going to use them. I thought I'd use my my throw where I pull it all the way back with no stops. And I had a tough group, and it was a tough week. And I just thought, you guarantee your games, see how it goes, and then I can look back and see where it went wrong. And if it's not working, it's not working. And luckily, I've won the week, so I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, the other key aspect, of course, for any dart player is the mental side of it. And just in context of tonight, we saw you lose that first game against Kieran Smith. I was watching you head down, walk backstage. How did you kind of dig yourself out mentally from that blow?
If I told you I went back and said, right, sort the fight, I'd be lying. I was devastated for about 5 minutes. I don't think it was the fact I lost the game, it was the way I played. I don't think I played well. So I just sat there and I said, luckily I knew that if I won that game, I was guaranteed to be through. I didn't think I had a chance of finishing top of the group, but I knew if I won, I was through. So I just had a minute, sat down, told myself off, and then went straight back on the practice board. But yeah, I wasn't happy when I lost that game, though.
You've got 1 month before Champions Week. Not a great deal of time, but a lot of our series champions have come from the second half, which this is. What have you got planned for the next month?
I've got the development tours coming up in Germany, and it's just, like I say, just practicing, trying to get everything right, and just enjoying the game. But at the minute, I love practicing, so when I'm going out on a Monday in a local team, I play like Sean Wilson, who plays Jim Mostyn, so I enjoy the crack with the lads and I enjoy the practice, and yeah, I'm just really enjoying darts at the minute.
Not really a bad day for Blackburn, right?
I know, yeah, I was, yeah, it comes in free, so we were saying, Blackburn won today, then I won on the Grand National, and then I won at darts, and my mum did say to me it comes in free, so...
Hopefully that is the end of the 3, because we play Sheffield Wednesday next week.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough.
Hopefully that is it. Right, let's have a look at that Champions Week lineup that Paul just referred to, actually, because Bradley has put his name in that second half, as you said. Now, you just gave me the sense that you feel that any week you're in, you think you should be amongst the favourite, but Champions Week's a bit different. But looking at that field, I mean, it's going to be fun, but you're going to fancy your chances, right?
I know myself, when I play well, people have to play well to beat me. My worst enemy is my head. So if my head's not right, I'm useless. But at the minute, I just can't see a way where I I don't win, and if I lose a game, I can't bounce back at the minute. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'll be back on the board. I've got Super League tomorrow night, so I'll be back on the board tomorrow night.
Yeah, and I heard you played decent stuff earlier this week. A 9-darter in a local comp, is that right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I think the whole pub heard it as well. I give it a little bit. I give it large as well. So yeah, I think the whole pub heard it as well.
Paul, just finally, obviously Brad's gone and done stuff. He's won the World Youth Championship before, but the stage that you're on at any given moment, that's the most important thing, isn't it? So this is huge for him right now.
Yeah, that statement of you're only as good as your last game, well, he's obviously very good because he's just won on that stage. And there are great players who have not made Champions Weeks. Robert Thornton has not made a Champions Week. He was here this week. He's not been to week 13. It's taken Brad 2 attempts to get there. Unfortunately for Robert, he's going to have to try again in the next series, but I'm really intrigued to see what Brad does over the next month in the lead up to our Champions Week at the end of May.
And final word to you, Bradley, when you do come back, you've got that Champions Week, where would it rank? How big would it be for you to take that title?
I think it'd be. I always say to myself, my biggest thing I ever won was the World Youth, but I don't know. I don't know until I lift. Well, hopefully, I'll lift the trophy, and then I will lift the trophy. But when I lift that, then who knows? But I just love playing darts at the minute, and knowing I'm coming back among other winners, so they'll be confident. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you've lifted one tonight. Congratulations, well done. Paul, thanks for your time as well. And we will be back Monday morning, bright and early, for another week of Modus Super Series action to see who can join brilliant Bradley Brooks in Champions Week.